this is a question for all three of you. This obviously being a Transformers convention, you guys get asked about the Transformers all the time, but is there a favorite character or a favorite show you've worked on that you don't usually get asked about? And if so, what is it?
Transformers related or not?
Go wild.
I can't do that.
Richard. Well, I guess one of the things that I love most about this industry is that we can do so many different things. So I've done a lot of villains. I've done a lot of do not fail me, that sort of thing. And one of my favorite roles is, without doubt, Franklin the Turtle's father. I got that gig when my kid was less than a year old. And I was brought into the audition. It was in Toronto, actually. I was here doing a production of Angels in America. And once the show had opened, I called Nelvana, and they said, oh, come in and meet the folks. You're wrong for this role, because you do not fail me. But come in and meet the folks. So I came in and I got the role of Franklin, the Turtle's father. And it made me a better dad. And so I would have to say that that's probably, aside from this kind of, the Beast Wars Transformers thing, that probably is one of my favorites. I've also done, like, 100 and some odd episodes of it, so kind of know the guy.
Okay. Do you want to go? I have nothing to say. I don't know.
I've been, the last few years, I mean, ever since, I got the puberty injection, I've been doing grown-up roles. And it's starting to wear off, and I think I'm going to get another shot. I got a chance to do, this was like 10 years ago, and I can't remember the name of the show. It was an anime series, but I got to play the bad guy, who was a little fella like this, and he was one of the most insidious, quietly evil, plotting, Machiavellian little fellows. And he was such a change of pace, and he was so freaking bloody. It was cool. As opposed to things like, Lelouch! How many times can you scream and the Lich King with, bow down before me. Bow down. Once you're down there, do me a favor. Bow down. No, sorry. I didn't say that. Sorry, excuse me.
I haven't done as many different voices. I've done, a bunch of different voices. So, I mean, I always enjoy any of that stuff because it's great. You just go in, you can be in your pajamas. It doesn't matter. You can just get it done. And it's a lot of fun. And working with, guys like these guys it's hysterical. I mean, you just have a great time doing it. I've had a lot of different fun experiences. I think probably the most nerve-wracking and one that sticks in my mind is I'm the last person to read the rules at the Academy Awards.
Oh, yes!
And that was a long time ago now. It's actually a Trivial Pursuit question, so if you ever get it now, you know the answer. And I learned a very important lesson in Hollywood when I did that. Because I thought it would be funny to have me do the rules. So every time they would announce who the producer was going to be, and I would say, okay, let's call them. And I'd have the managers call them and say, it'd be great to have John. No, it's not a good idea. And then someone said to me, it's not a good idea in Hollywood until it's their idea. So I said, next year, when they announce the producer, wait 3 days before you call them. They announced the producer was Howard Koch, who was an old-fashioned movie produced Maltese Falcon and all those movies. And he talked like this and always had the cigar hanging out of his mouth. And we waited, and we get a phone call. Mr. Koch has a fabulous idea. He just thought it'd be so funny to have John read the rules at the Academy Awards. I was like, how did he ever come up with that idea? We'll do it. So I went to go meet Howard Koch, and he was very funny. He told story after story after story. He told me a story about Danny Simon, who was Neil Simon's brother. Neil Simon, the famous playwright, Odd Couple, and all those shows. He goes, I used to hire Danny. He used to be a script doctor for me, fix the scripts. And one time he rewrote this script for me, and he brings it in. It's a piece of garbage. I said, I'm not paying you for this. It's a piece of garbage. He says, what do you mean it's not paying for me? I'm one of the best writers in Hollywood. He says, I got news for you, brother. You're not even the best writer in your family. So then he said, okay, but here's the thing. You'll do it, but you can't tell anybody about it. Nobody can know you're doing it. It has to be a big surprise. So, okay, fine. So we're trying to hold it as a big surprise. Every day, I am practicing the rules. In the shower, when I'm eating, when I'm doing whatever, because you're going to be live in front of 1 billion people. You do not want to screw it up. The awards back then were still on Monday. Friday, I go in for the rehearsal. Rehearsal goes perfectly. Terrific. We go for the dress rehearsal on Monday morning, and the AD walks up to me and says, "Here's the new script." I said, "What do you mean, here's the new script? The rules haven't changed in 55 years. What do you mean?" He said, "Well, they really thought it was hysterical, but it only took you 8 seconds, and they want to make it at least 15 seconds, so they wrote more copy." I said, "Well, I've been practicing this other stuff." He said, "Don't worry, we're going to put it on cue cards for you." So they put it on cue cards. The cue card guy comes out. We have the rehearsal. It goes fine. I go home. I'm panic-stricken now. I'm practicing this thing all day long. Well, that year, the show had 3 hosts, Walter Matthau, Dudley Moore, and Liza Minnelli. And I'm standing in the wings. Tom Selleck, it was his first, he had done that movie where he played a pilot or something, and he was going to be a presenter. He was so nervous, he was crying standing next to me in the wings. I'm standing there, and there's Liza Minnelli and the 3 of them all doing their opening singing, dancing number. And then they go to introduce me, and there's Liza Minnelli introducing me, and I'm like, I'm like 23 years old. I'm like, oh my God, Liza Minnelli is introducing me. And I go out and I start doing the rules. And the audience reaction, they don't mic the audience at the Academy Awards because there's too much rustle with the people getting up and going down and doing whatever else. So I start doing the thing, the crowd goes crazy, and the cue card guy can't hear me. So I get to the part where I know the actors vote for actors, directors vote for directors, and I don't know what's next, and I paused, which live on TV felt like about a year and a half, just standing there. But of course, it was just like a snap when you watch it. The cue card guy knew I didn't know what was next, so he starts flipping through the cards and drops them. And they went all over the floor of the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, and he is now crawling on hands and knees going, "This one! This one!" Screaming. The crowd and the audience can see all this. People at home have no idea this is going on. I'm talking about anything that comes into my mind about the Academy Awards. I don't even remember thinking about it, talking about, this was that, and I finally held up the right card, and I finished it, and I walked off, and that was it. And I thought, oh, it's terrible. The only one that knew anything was wrong was my mother. My mother said, "What happened? I saw that look of panic on your face." Everybody else was, "That was fantastic, Well.
That is awesome. Thank you, guys.